Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. Today we will be racing in Pocono with a recap of how Hailie Deegan did in Iowa first before that. But yeah, going into Pocono, we had a rough finish there last time. We had a good race, but the last, 10 or so laps went downhill pretty quickly. So we're going to try and not let that happen today in Pocono. But as we look at how Hailie Deegan did in her Xfinity Series race in Iowa, coming into this race with 2 wins on the season. Iowa, a very tough track to race at, so I wasn't really expecting much from her as she started back in 19th or so. I think it was actually 18th, and early on she moved to the top line, making it 3 wide with some drivers trying to make her way forwards. But by the time she came about the midway point in this race, moving into the 18th position, so not really an improvement from where she had started, and she continued to struggle throughout the rest of this race as she just slowly tried to work her way forwards, but it was really tough for her to do so with this car. But by the time she came to the final lap, she worked her way up into the 15th position, battling for that 15th spot with the 42 of John Hunter Nemechek. And out of turn 2, he would get past her. She would try to get to his inside going into turn 3 with a diving move up his inside, making a little bit of contact as she went for a little bit of a slide, and she would give up that 15th position and come through to the line to finish Iowa in 16th. So certainly not a good result for this team. But the 2 wins lock us into the playoffs already, so we can take hits like these, obviously. So I wasn't really too disappointed in the team, as Brandon Jones did bring home the victory, so it was good for him. I believe that would be his first win on the season, possibly. But either way, you see Hailie Deegan now sits 6th in the standings still, so still doing a good job when it comes to the point situation, as we get almost $800,000 to the team. But now, obviously, we set our sights on Pocono and going into the 3-turned triangle. Let's go see what we can do.
Today, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series makes its final stop at Pocono Raceway for the running of the Gander Outdoors 400. Now, it's always fun coming to this unique 2.5-mile triangle-shaped speedway. All 3 turns are different, and the banking in those turns is far less than most tracks of its size. The 3 straightaways are all different lengths too. This track operates more like a road course than a speedway, with all the gear shifting required. That means crew chiefs will once again be on the hot seat as they try to find that perfect setup that will get their drivers to victory lane.
Alright, we are ready to go green in Pocono. Clint Boyer will be starting on the pole. Ryan Newman isn't nearly as fast as expected. Bubba Wallace missed the driver's meeting, so he's starting in the back of the field, and I am also starting in the back of the field. You see, I did not qualify due to inspection issues. Before qualifying, we were sent to the back of the field, and we weren't even allowed to qualify, so we get ready to go green from the 39th position. Obviously, we're in for our work today, as we're going to have to work our way up quite a ways now as we cross the line to start this race behind the number 8 of Daniel Hamrick. Immediately, I look to the left-hand side as Boyer and Elliott lead us down the long stretch down into turns 1, which I believe this is probably the longest stretch down into turns 1 off of a restart or as an initial start, as Clint Boyer continues to lead over now 2nd place of Eric Jones as we come down the straightaway, trying to look to the inside of Danica Patrick as we head down into the tunnel turn for the first time in this race. Certainly going right to her inside, turns 3. As we exit turn 3, we're still on her inside now, as we will come through to the inside of Chris Buescher, and we're going to complete this first lap and moving up into the 33rd spot. And now as we head down towards turn 1, looking to the inside of the 72 of Corey LaJoie as we head down into the corner now on the inside of Harrison Rhodes, moving into the top 30 early on in this race, as we certainly have some speed. And I'm running a bit different of a setup than I did in the spring race. Obviously, I don't run full setups because we'd be too dominant, but we changed it up, made the setup tighter, because you saw last time here we really lost the car at the end of the race, and we don't need that happening again, as we would move our way into the top 25 now as we went down into turns 1, trying to make a move up in front of the 47 of AJ Allmendinger. And these races are short at Pocono, so we don't have a lot of time to work our way forwards, but by the time we came to 2 to go in the first stage, we would work our way up into the top 10, sitting in exactly the 10th position So we have certainly rallied our way forwards now in front of the 78 of Truex behind me, who's battling, I believe, with Alex Bowman in the number 88 car as we come out of turn 1, making the long stretch down towards the tunnel turn. Just about a lap and a half to go in this first stage, and I certainly think at this point we have a fast car, and maybe even fast enough to win this race if we play our cards right and get into the right situation, as we're not really losing time to the leader and we don't even have the draft. So I was pretty confident in the car at this point as we come through turns 3. The leader's already heading down the front straightaway, about to cross the line to take the white flag in stage 1, as we do gain a 10th on the leader there. As we do come across the line though, the white flag in stage 1 is out. Alex Bowman behind me in the 11th position, trying to run me down to get the final stage point paying position as we head down into turns 1 for the final time in the stage, as Bowman has certainly closed up the gap to myself as we exit the corner. We're just trying to hang on at this point and not make any dumb mistake within this final lap in the stage as we make the long stretch once again down into the tunnel turn, still 4.1 seconds behind the leader as we head into the tunnel turn for the final time in the first stage. And Bowman closes up a little bit more as we get ready to approach the third turn, as he is within about 2 car lengths as we head into turns 3, closing it up even more. But we're going to safely kind of run that bottom line and not screw up, fortunately, as we come out of turn 3. We're going to hang on over Alex Bowman to bring home the 10th position in stage 1. So certainly a big comeback from being sent to the rear of the field, so I was very proud of that. And the stage winner, let's see, it was Clint Boyer, so a playoff point to him, as everyone would pit and take 2 cans of fuel and 4 tires, so we would obviously come in. The left sides were only at 80%, but the field took 4 tires anyways, so that means I would assume they would take 4 tires on the next stop, as well as we get ready to go green once again to start the second stage. And the green flag is out. Stage 2 is underway here in Pocono. And immediately you see in my mirror that the 88's leaving a hole between himself and the 22, which I'm deciding I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to check up just a little bit and now get to that inside line before Bowman can fill that hole as we head into turns 1. Now we're on that bottom line. Our teammate Kyle Larson leads that top line through turns 1 now as we exit the corner on the inside of Kurt Busch out of the turn 1, trying to maybe side draft him a bit as we head down in to the tunnel turn. We could make it 3 wide with Joey Logano. That's exactly what I was trying to do, but I thought better of it now as he goes in there side by side with his teammate Keselowski, as we push a little bit wide on the exit of the tunnel turn, making a little bit of contact with the 41 of Kurt Busch as we head down into turns 3 for the first time in this second stage. Looking now to the inside of Keselowski as I push up the track, allowing Bowman to get to my inside as we make contact and slide up the track a little bit, and he clears me as we drift down to the 10th position as we come through to complete the first lap in stage 2, as we try to use that draft to stick with the 2 car of Keselowski, as now Harvick and Boyer battle for the lead as we head down into turns 1. Harvick looking like he is going to take the lead from Clint Boyer as we exit the first turn. Now looking to the inside of Bowman as we exit turn 1, not able to get to his inside though as we look to the inside of the 2 of Keselowski instead, as we try to side draft him going into the tunnel turn with Kurt Busch looking on my back bumper now as we do come out of the tunnel turn, getting into the back of the 88 of Bowman, but fortunately we don't get any damage from that as we do get a little bit of a momentum drop though. And going into turns 3, we would push a little bit wide, almost into the side of the 2 of Keselowski, but we do keep control of the car as we exit the corner now, closing in on the back of the 88, so we decided to look to his inside, but unfortunately I just could not get down to his inside without the draft, so we would have to fall in line once again as we came through to start the third lap as we hit the 88 again, but we look to his inside going into turns 1, and we go for a big slide into the back of the 18 as well, but fortunately we both hang on to it as he does get a little bit sideways there, but we come out of turn 1 in the 9th position now, looking to the inside of the 18 of Kyle Busch. I know our teammate Larson's up there, but he's going to get ahead and clear as we head down into the tunnel turn 3 wide with the 18 and the 88, and fortunately the 22 slides up, allowing me to close in on him as well as we head down into turn 3, trying to look to the inside of Joey Logano as we head down into the third corner, and I'm going to send it up the inside, a very ambitious late move, and we make contact with the 22, and now the 41 is going to force it 4 wide on the exit of turn 3 as we make contact with Logano as we come down the front straightaway, working our way into the 6th position. Kyle Busch would get past me, and so would Kurt Busch, so we would stick in the 6th position though as we did pass Eric Jones by the time we came to lap 9 of 10 in stage 2, so just 2 to go at this time in the race in the second stage, closing in on the back of our teammate Kyle Larson, who is still looking for his first win on the season, as he's just not able to quite make it happen as we come through the tunnel turn, closing in on the back of our teammate of Kyle Larson as we look to his inside down the straightaway, heading into turn 3, pretty even with him going into the corner now as he goes a little bit wide, and that allows me to probably easily clear him, but no, he's going to keep fighting, but we do clear him on the exit of turn 3 as we come through now down the straightaway to take the white flag in the second stage now as we try to use that draft from Kyle Busch as we head down into turns 1 as he's behind his brother of Kurt Busch going into the first corners. Kevin Harvick, he continues to lead this race over his second place teammate of Clint Boyer now as we exit the first turn, closing in on the back of the 18 and the 41 just a little bit, but we probably do not have enough time in this second stage to run them down as we head through down into the tunnel turn for the final time in stage 2. As you see now through turns 3, Boyer continues to lead this race as we exit turns 3. Kyle Busch is going to get 4th as we close in on the back of him. We will get 5th in stage 2. And I would obviously have to come to pit road as Kevin Harvick did win the stage, which gives him a playoff point, which he doesn't really need anymore. But we would come to pit road and take 2 cans of fuel and 4 tires just like the last stop, and the AI would only take 2 tires and we would lose 19 spots and drop back to 24th. So a 1 or 2% difference on the left side tires made the difference in them taking only 2 tires, and I really was not very excited about this now as we once again have to rally our way back forwards as this final stage is underway. It's only 13 laps. Fortunately, we have a fast car, and I'm hoping that we can maybe get a caution here if we work our way forwards as we look to the inside of McDowell, and we get into the back of the 9 of Elliott, and it's going to turn me down to the apron, but fortunately, we hang on to the car now as we exit the first turn. Certainly not the start to the final stage that we need as we come through alongside the 13 of Ty Dillon as we head in to the tunnel turn, running in 26, trying to take 25th from him as we come down through the tunnel turn behind the 51 of Harrison Rhodes as we close in on the back bumper of him as I look to his inside just about as, but instead we hit him in the back bumper, so I decided to give him a little bit of a shove going into turn 3, but we do look to his inside through turn 3, trying to work our way forwards as Kevin Harvick is still in command as we exit the third turn down the front straightaway, trying to pass the 19 of Daniel Suarez, who will be going to the number 41 car next season in the 2019 DLC for our career mode as we head down into turns 1, looking to the inside of the 38 of David Reagan now. So certainly we're working our way up now through the field, now closing in on the back of the 12 of Blaney as we look to his inside as we exit turn 1, going down the straightaway, trying to gain another position as Elliott battles alongside Greg Galding up ahead, and Elliott and Blaney right now are the 2 guys battling for the last playoff position as we take a 3 wide going into the tunnel turn with Elliott, and now Greg Galding backs out of the situation as we make contact with the 9 going down the straightaway as we head down into turns 3. We're not trying to interfere with the 9 and the 12 too much as they, like I said, are battling for that last playoff spot right now as we exit turn 3. They shouldn't really be battling for it, but a couple upset winners have put them in that situation as we come through to cross the line to hit 11 laps to go, closing in on the back of the 95 of Casey Kane. We would get past him and set our sights on the 3 of Austin Dillon going into the tunnel turn. We would also get to his inside and past the 3 of Austin Dillon as I kind of cleared myself, and it causes me to make contact with him and get very loose down the straightaway, so he would once again come along my right side as we went into turn 3, but fortunately we would get clear of him in the third turn as we rallied our way up to P16, coming to 10 laps to go. So certainly a lot of work to do, and by the time we came to lap 33 we would get up to 11th, closing in on the back of the 88 of 10th place Alex Bowman as we came out of the tunnel turn with a big run on the back of him as we look to his inside now going into turns 3. And as we head down into turns 3, trying to clear the 88 of Alex Bowman and through the center of the corner on the exit, we will do just that. We do clear the 88 of Alex Bowman down the front straightaway to come to just about 8 laps to go, I believe, or 7 to go, sorry, as we try to look to the inside now. The 20 of Eric Jones, but we end up getting a caution, and we're in the 10th position. So we're going to be restarting on the outside line, and this puts us much closer to the front of the field, but we're going to have a very good restart to get to that bottom line, and we might have to force our way down here as we get ready to go green. The green flag's back out. Only 4 laps remain in Pocono. Still an opportunity as we are going to try and force our way down. Jones leads us to the room, and I take full advantage as he did not try to stay in his lane one bit. So we were able to get to that bottom line, and immediately we move up to 7th place, now on the inside of the 2 of Keselowski through turns 1 as we try to get to the back of Hamlin, give him a little bit of a tap now, looking to the inside of our number 42 car teammate of Kyle Larson as we head down the straightaway, trying to gain as many spots as we can, moving up to 5th now as we head down towards the tunnel turn, looking to the inside of Hamlin, going into the tunnel turn, and we're going to move up into the 4th place as he checks up and gives the spot away to me as we now look to the inside of 3rd place, Kurt Busch, going into the 3rd turn. Certainly a very good restart for myself as we are now within range of having a shot at winning this race, but as we exit turns 3, Kurt Busch hangs alongside on my right door as we come down the front straightaway to hit 3 laps to go in this race. He would clear me on the straightaway, and by the time we came to later this lap, still sitting behind the 41 as he checks up a bit going into the tunnel turn, and I have a chance to maybe pass him on the exit of the corner, and he checks up once again, and we just barely touch him on the bumper, and we look to his inside once again going into turn 3, trying to pass that 41 of Kurt Busch, going to 2 laps to go this time by as we come through turn 3, finally clearing the 41 of Kurt Busch as our teammate Kyle Larson will also look to his inside as we come down the front straightaway to hit 2 laps to go. Harvick and Busch 1-2 as we come down, making the long stretch down into turns 1 with a big momentum run with the draft from the 18 going into turns 1. And as we come through the center of the corner, our teammate Larson fades a bit away as we exit turn 1. Busch looking to make it side-by-side with the 4 of Harvick for the lead, but it's not going to happen. I decide to drop down a little bit, trying to help him as we come down towards the tunnel turn, and I obviously go back up to the top of the track as we head into the tunnel turn. As we come through the center, Kyle Busch screws it up, and he comes down, and we hit him, and around he goes into the wall, and we have a big crash behind us as we have ignited a big crash, and I'm not sure if that was my fault or his fault. I thought he was going up the track, and immediately he just checked up and stayed in his line, and I thought maybe that was my fault, but it could have been his fault as well. Let me know who you guys think was at fault there, but that would set us up for an overtime finish with Kevin Harvick as Kyle Busch fades back to 10th place. But we have to put that incident behind us now as we get ready to go green, and the green flag is out. 2 laps remain. We finished 2nd in New Hampshire last race. Now we are here again in Pocono with 2 laps to go, running in the 2nd position again, trying to clear that 4 of Kevin Harvick before we get down to turns 1, but it's not going to happen as Keselowski gets to my back bumper to help me out going into this first turn as our teammate Larson's on the back of the 4 as we are side by side but out of turn 1. Harvick's going to have the momentum, and he will clear me down the straightaway, and immediately get in behind him to make sure I can get the draft as we head down into the tunnel turn. We just need to wait for him. We just need to hope maybe he makes a slight mistake which will allow me to look to his inside or something, but we're the one making the mistake through the tunnel turn as Harvick stretches out the gap to about a car length and a half as we head down into turns 3, approaching the white flag this time by. We're still within range to maybe make something happen, and through turns 3, Harvick this time is the one that makes a slight mistake, keeping me close enough to him as we come down the front straightaway. The white flag is in the air in Pocono as we come down, making the long stretch down into turns 1, using that draft to maybe close that gap, but we stay pretty much even to about what we were on the exit of turn 3 as we come through turns 1. Harvick misses the bottom, and he moves up the track, allowing me to close in on his back bumper as we exit turn 1, within half a car length now from Kevin Harvick as we make the stretch down into the tunnel turn. This is where we're going to have to try and get him as we are within a quarter or a half a car length through the tunnel turn for the final time, and Harvick once again makes a little bit of a mistake. He has a bit of a bobble, and we have a big run on the exit of the tunnel turn, looking to his inside for the final time, going into turns 3 with a chance to win in Pocono now, even with Harvick through turns 3 for the final time through the center of the corner. Larson and Kurt battle behind us as we exit turns 3, making contact with the 4, trying to side draft him, coming to the line. It's side by side, but Harvick wins in Pocono. And for the 2nd time in a row and our 4th time this season, we have finished 2nd, unfortunately, just coming up short. Obviously, that's the closest 2nd place finish we've had, as we lost that by about half a car length. A very close finish, and unfortunately, it didn't favor myself. It was unfortunate, but we can't be too disappointed at the same time. But I really want to get back to victory lane. It's been a while since Dover, so we're trying to do our best to win another race, but it's certainly hard to do right now as we now have 5 races to the playoffs after we make over $1.4 million, so I can't be too disappointed with that, I guess. But we certainly have some drivers that are not happy with me. Chase Elliott, I do decide, maybe we should apologize to him Kurt Busch isn't very happy. We apologize to him as well. Kyle Busch, understandably not happy after that incident. Like, I still don't really know who was at fault, but now he's upset. So we have him and Jimmy Johnson not very happy with me now, just like last season. So we might be closing in on having a rival. But if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Those would all be very appreciated. I'd like to thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to watch one of my videos. And in the next episode, we will be going to Watkins Glen. There you see the playoff standings. Blaney is now 2 points out as we head into Watkins Glen. So I will see you guys in the next episode in Watkins Glen. We'll see if we can pick up the victory there. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have a great day, and see you guys in the next episode.